Alrighty, guys, welcome to our college basketball video here today for Thursday, January 5th, 2023. If you end up enjoying this video, please feel free to give this video a thumbs up by smashing that like button. I'd really appreciate it. You have no idea how important that is. Really spikes that algorithm, allows a lot more people to find me. And if you haven't done so already, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. I'd love to connect with you on a daily basis. And with that, we're going to jump into some free content. We're going to take a look at Maryland at Rutgers, 6:30 p.m. East. Rutgers is -4, totals 130.5. And if you like Maryland in an upset win on the road here, they're plus $1.85 for some money line cash. Now, if you find yourself enjoying these videos every day and you want to show support, please feel free to pick up a package on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, of course, I'm going to recommend to you that you pick up my all-inclusive board member package. It gives you access to every single play, every single package, every single day. For the next 30 days, if you sign up here today, it literally gives you full access to every play I give out on that site and every single membership that's offered there. And if you sign up here today, it's going to work out to be just $1.66 over the long term. Certainly a good value for you, as I'm posting anywhere between 4 to 6 personal sports bets on that site every single day. It's a safe and secure website, so if you're serious about sports betting, I strongly suggest you at least consider it. And of course, if you want to show support, but just not to that extent, well, I got plenty of smaller, lesser expensive packages you can sign up to as well. Now, guys, real quick, you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do on Patreon and what I do with these free videos. Well, what I do with these free videos is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side, and total. And what I do on my website is I actually share with you which one of these free picks from these videos that I'm actually betting on personally. And with that, what do we have to... Yeah, that's it. That's done. I'm done with the commercial. All right, guys, this is a pretty tough spot for Maryland backers. They lost 4 out of their last 6. They got held to just 46 total points in their last game. And aside from shooting just 30% from three land, the Terps are also struggling in the rebounding department. These guys are toward the bottom of the barrel in Big Ten in defensive rebounding. They're facing a Rutgers team who's one of the better offensive rebounding teams in the conference themselves. Cliff Amoria is averaging nearly double-digit boards a game. He's also leading the team in points. Meanwhile, Cam Spencer's drilling 43% of his three-pointers. But the real strength of this Scarlet Knight program is their defensive play. These guys allow only 55 points a game. They're also in the top 3 in guarding the three-pointer. Now, no real surprise here, guys. Rutgers is limiting their competition to just 36% shooting from the field. When it comes to the total in this one, Rutgers saw 5 out of their last 8 stay under the number. Meanwhile, Maryland went 7-1 to the under in their last 8. I'm going to lean toward Rutgers -4, under 130.5. Next ball game, it is going to be Purdue, Ohio State, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Ohio State's the 1-point favorite, totals 141. Now, the Buckeyes do a nice job getting to the basket. They're averaging 81 points a game, and they're also in the top 25 in field goal percentage. Bryce Sensabaugh is making over 52% of his field goal attempts. He's also the team's leading scorer with over 15.5 points a night. Meanwhile, Bruce Thornton's knocking down over 45% of his three balls. When it comes to defensive play, well, you just can't shoot from three land against these guys. These guys have a defensive three-point percentage of just 27%. Now they're facing a Purdue squad who's little threat shooting from downtown. These guys are making only 30% of their long-distance shots. And in addition to that, they're also coming fresh off their first loss of the season to Rutgers. They were actually held to only 64 points in that loss. Now, total-wise, Purdue saw their last 5 straight stay under the number. Meanwhile, Ohio State saw unders against the likes of Northwestern, Rutgers, and Cincinnati. I'm going to lean toward Ohio State -1, under 141. All right, next matchup, it is going to be Washington State taking on Arizona State. And that'll be an 8 o'clock Eastern start time. Arizona State's -5, totals 130. Now, offensively, the Sun Devils are scoring 72 points a night. Where are they at on the screen? Good Lord. Are they on the big screen? Are they on the big screen? No. I don't know why. I should have looked. Anyway, offensively, the Sun Devils are scoring 72 points a night, and they do a real nice job grabbing offensive boards. Devin Cambridge, he's grabbing nearly 6 rebounds a night. He's also drilling 40% of his shots from three-land. Now, DJ Horn, he's scoring a team-high 12 points a game. On the offensive side, the strength of this Sun Devil team has been their defensive play. These guys are limiting their opponents to just 36% shooting from the field. They're actually in the top 10 in the nation in that category. Now, they're facing a Washington State team who isn't prolific offensively. They're averaging only 69 points per contest. And out of the Cougs' last 10 outings, they got the W only 3 times. Now, total-wise, Wazoo went 70% to the under in their last 10. Meanwhile, Arizona State saw 6 out of their last 10 stay under the total themselves. I'm going to lean toward Arizona State -5, under 130. Next game, probably not on our big screen. It should be, but it is going to be Hoosiers, Hawkeyes, 9 o'clock Eastern tip-off. There it is. Iowa's -1.5, totals 152 and a hook. And even though Trace Jackson Davis is banged up for Indy, I don't know if I was playing good enough basketball to capitalize on that. They're on a 3-game losing streak right now, and they played little to no defense in the past 3 weeks. The Hawkeyes allowed 75 points or more in 4 out of their last 5 ball games. They're also one of the worst defensive rebounding teams in the Big Ten. They're facing an Indy team who still shoots it well despite their potential absence of Jackson Davis. Like I said, he's banged up, officially listed as questionable. But, we got Tamar Bates, who's making over 52% of his field goals. He's also drilling 41% of his 3 balls. Meanwhile, Jalen Hood-Schifino, he's averaging double-digit points a game along with 4 boards. When it comes to defensive play, the Hoosiers are limiting their competition to just 39% shooting from the field. Now, injury-wise, once again, Jackson Davis is questionable. Xavier Johnson's also still out with a foot. Meanwhile, for Iowa, Ogundele is questionable. McCaffrey's out for them as well. When it comes to the total, I do still think this one can get over the number despite the injuries. Indy saw 4 out of their last 5 get over the line. Meanwhile, Iowa went 4-1 to the over in their last 5 themselves. I'm going to lean toward Indy +1.5, over 152 and a hook. Next contest, it is going to be USC taking on UCLA, 9:30 p.m. East. UCLA's -11.5, totals 140. And even though I hate this number here, UCLA's been pretty dominant. They're 13-2 on the year, and they're scoring a whole lot of points in the process. And in the Bruins' last 10 outings, they scored 80 points or more 6 times. They're also a top 25 field goal shooting team. Jaime Jaquez is making 53% of his field goals. He also leads the team in points. Meanwhile, sharpshooter David Singleton, he's making 50% of his three-pointers and 94% of his free throws. Now, they're facing a USC team who's quite good themselves, although they did suffer losses to Washington State, Wisconsin, and Tennessee. And aside from some rebounding problems on defense, these guys haven't shot the three-pointer well. They're making only 32% of their attempts from beyond the arc. When it comes to the total, the Trojans saw unders against the likes of Colorado State, Oregon State, and Cal. Meanwhile, UCLA saw their last 4 straight stay under the total themselves. I'm going to lean toward UCLA -11.5, under 140. And with that, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for the video. It is going to be Gonzaga taking on San Francisco. That'll be an 11 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Gonzaga is the 10-point favorite on the road. Total's 157. But as good as Gonzaga is, they've really struggled to cover the point spread. They failed to cover in 7 out of their last 9. And they've been a little suspect on defense. These guys are allowing 73 points a game this year. They're also facing a San Francisco team who can certainly score a little. They're averaging 75 points a game, and they're led by Khalil Shabazz, who averages a team-high 15.5 points a night. Meanwhile, Tyrell Roberts is also scoring over 14 points a game. He's making nearly 40% of his three-pointers. Meanwhile, on the other end of the court, the Dons can definitely play a little defense. These guys allow only 68 points a game, and they're in the top 25 in guarding the three-pointer. Now, total-wise, San Francisco saw overs against the likes of Arizona State, UNLV, and Arkansas Little Rock. Meanwhile, Gonzaga saw their last 4 qualifying ball games get over the total. I'm going to lean towards San Francisco plus 10 over 157. And with that, guys, we're going to go ahead and jump into our quick pick recap. I like Fairleigh Dickinson plus 3 under 143. Give me UMass Lowell minus 12 over 139. I like Rutgers minus 4 under 130.5. Give me Coastal Carolina plus 6 under 136. One final reminder, guys, if you're watching me here on TikTok, please feel free to give this video a thumbs up by smashing that heart button. And if you haven't done so already, please feel free to give me a follow. I'd love to connect with you on a daily basis. Give me James Madison minus 12 over 138. Troy minus 4 under 132. Marshall minus 7 over 140.5. Jacksonville minus 1 under 126. Long Island University plus 8 over 142.5. Sacred Heart plus 3 under 131. Kennesaw State plus 2 over 147. Liberty minus 15 under 128. Northeastern minus 1.5 under 133. Ohio State minus 1 under 141. Morehead State minus 2 over 144.5. Western Illinois minus 4 over 146. SIU Edwardsville minus 6 over 145.5. Youngstown State minus 7 under 143 and a hook. IPFW minus 17 under 137. UW Milwaukee plus 7 under 138. Towson minus 7 under 126. Hofstra minus 10 over 150.5. St. Bonaventure minus 1 under 134 and a hook. Wagner plus 2 over 132. Bryant plus 3 over 149. UMBC minus 9 over 143.5. Colgate minus 8 over 141. Florida Atlantic minus 2 over 149. Charlotte minus 5 under 135. New Hampshire plus 1.5 under 132. Houston minus 19 under 130. Boston University minus 5 under 127. Bucknell minus 7 over 143. Army minus 2 under 139. American University minus 6 under 128. Seattle minus 7 over 156.5. Sam Houston State minus 3 under 128. UL Monroe plus 5 under 130 and a hook. South Dakota State minus 2.5 over 141 and a hook. South Dakota minus 3 over 138.5. Southern Miss plus 3 over 146. Arkansas State plus 7 under 128. I'm also leaning toward Eastern Kentucky minus 4 over 160. Florida Gulf Coast minus 5 under 135. Lipscomb minus 7 over 147. Utah Valley minus 6 under 134. Montana State minus 2 over 147.5. Montana minus 3 under 138. Southern Utah plus 2 over 146. Arizona State minus 5 under 130. Lamar plus 7 over 146. Rice minus 2 over 153.5. Middle Tennessee State minus 9 over 142. St. Thomas minus 7 over 148. Eastern Illinois plus 5 under 137. Northwestern State minus 4 over 138. Southeast Louisiana minus 10 over 161. Cincinnati minus 1 over 134. Colorado minus 2 over 144. Nichols minus 3 over 149. Indiana plus 1.5 over 152 and a hook. Tennessee Martin minus 1 over 154. UC Irvine minus 3 over 145. Sacramento State minus 1 under 132. Eastern Washington minus 6 over 152. Western Kentucky plus 5 under 122. UCLA minus 11.5 under 140. UC Riverside -5, under 129. Long Beach State -5, over 144. Hawaii -6, under 127. Cal Poly +2, under 120.5. Santa Clara +2, under 154. San Diego -5, over 150. Oregon State +14, under 129.5. Arizona -18, over 154. Loyola Marymount +2, over 144. With my next and final free pick, I'm going to lean toward San Francisco +10, over 157.